Lifting in the kingdom, amongst other things, is what? Responsibility. God cannot take the risk of committing his estate to your trust if he has not vetted faithfulness and diligence in your life. Virtue that is God can never overlook is faithfulness and diligence. If you are not faithful, God can't. Remember, I told you, lifting in the kingdom, amongst other things, is what? Responsibility. God cannot take the risk of committing his estate to your trust if he has not vetted faithfulness and diligence in your life. In Luke chapter 16, verse 10 and 12, the Bible told us it was raw. It said, he that is faithful in that which is least is also faithful in much. He that is unjust in that which is least is unjust in that which is much. Verse 12, he said, if you are not faithful in another man's business, who will give you your own? See, I work with many young people, some of them very gifted. Oh, the way they think, if there's a problem, they just sit down like this. Before you know, they have brought solution out. But what is their problem? They lack faithfulness. They lack diligence. The same thing you correct them on, you will correct them for 3 months, they will still err. And I nod my head. Sometimes when I see them, I just pray for them, so that this level of skill, this level of creativity does not waste. Because I know if they don't change, they will waste. Ask those who work with me here. As little as spelling, I see. Spelling. Oh, service is over. They didn't know what to do after service. Me who preached, I called their attention to it. As very little things. The other day I sat them down, I said, you are doing a fragment of this responsibility. I'm heading it. Does it not surprise you that I'm coming to correct you? Imagine the responsibility is 10. You are doing 1. I'm controlling the 10. And I can see the error in your 1. How then can you come to a level where God will put you in charge of 10? Little things. You want to go live? It's 2 minutes to going live. That the person is struggling whether the microphone is working. And I'm looking at you. Did they tell you 2 minutes ago that you are going to go live? And then you say, okay, maybe it's an oversight. Next week, the same thing happens. The other week, the same thing happens. And then you find them running helter skelter. What is the issue? They didn't charge the audio mic. And you knew from last week we are going live today at this time. And I'm nodding my head. Meanwhile, this is a skillful person. This is a creative person. Somebody edits a video, uploads it, and then you are seeing error. That the moment you click the video, 5 seconds into the video, the error is glaring. And you are wondering, didn't you listen to it before uploading it? This is a 5 minutes video. He was too busy that he didn't listen. And you will make that correction for 10 months. Is that a man God will give a nation to? If you are not faithful, if you are not diligent, kill yourself with prayer, you won't rise. This is not a prophecy. It's a law of the spirit realm. It's a man who is faithful in little is the man who will be faithful in much. In Proverbs 22:29, he says, seest thou a man diligent in his business? He said, that one, not every other man, that one will stand before kings and not before men. If you want God to lift you, go and vet your work. The little work in your care. Go and check it and find out the errors in it. That's why you won't rise. The day you become diligent and faithful to the little you have already approved yourself for the next level. Number 3 virtue that is never going to be compromised in the equation of lifting is obedience. Obedience. There are people, the moment it becomes an instruction, it becomes difficult. That's something they would have done 10 times. But the moment you say do it, there is a problem. Why must I be the one? Why is it always me? Who are you to tell me? They have 1,001 reasons why they won't. And when they are compelled to, they won't do it well, as a statement that they were not happy. And they think they are making a statement to someone. Your future will answer you. I'm telling you, these are simple secrets, but these are the things that separate men into cadres. And unfortunately, some learn it at old age. Isaiah 1:19. If you are willing and obedient, it says you will eat the good of the land. If you are willing and obedient. If you are not obedient, you will never rise. I teach people, I said, if God says this person is in charge, look at him as though God is the one talking to you. Because he's talking by the authority of the one who placed him. There are people who will never serve because of who gave them the instruction. The question you ask yourself is, did they put themselves there? Those days when we were in the school of process, you will hear people sit down talking like that one says a leader. They will list 20 of his errors and they will say, if not because I'm here, can that one talk to me? They are still there. They are still there. Because while you are talking, God is just weighing you. You can fast track your rising and you can delay your rising. Obedience, critical. Number 4, righteous living. Those who take matters of righteousness carelessly, they never rise in this kingdom. Because everybody that rises is God's ambassador. Everybody that is lifted is God's representative. And God will not raise somebody who will misrepresent him. So if you want God to lift you, you must build righteousness into your life. Proverbs 14:34. It says righteousness does not only exalt individuals, it exalts nations. So a whole nation can be lifted because of righteousness. In Hebrews 1:7, he said concerning Jesus, because thou lovest righteousness and hated iniquity, it said thy God, check verse 8 for me, let's get that scripture right. It said thy God has anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy peers. Verse 9, thou hast loved righteousness and hated iniquity, therefore God, even thy God, has anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. This is not a church thing.
Join our community, subscribe, and let's explore the apostolic legacy together. The Apostolic TV, where faith flourishes. Subscribe now and be a part of it.